Hey everybody, Daryl from Chain Out Podcast here. Welcome to episode 5 of the Chain Out Podcast Fantasy Disc Golf League. I'm joined as always by my co-host with the most, Jeremy. How you doing?
Great, Daryl. I'm excited for another A tier of fantasy picks.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done the last one.
Yeah, I've been
Um,
missing them.
yeah, exactly. I think we're going to get a bit of a, it's like waiting for a bus. You wait forever for one to show up and then two or three show up at the same time. Now we're going to have a run of fantasy podcasts here coming up pretty soon. Eastern Canadian, we have a very special guest from Eastern Canada to join us on this one. Let's welcome Myles Latter. How are you doing, Myles?
For having me. I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, people that don't know you, obviously you
How
don't
did they
follow
not
Innova,
know him?
you don't follow Innova, you don't follow disc golf on Instagram. Miles of Disc, staple in Innova lineup for New Mold Monday, Terminology Tuesday. You're all over my feed anyway.
Yeah.
That means that the algorithm's working, so I'm doing something right.
There you go.
And
How
with
long have
two,
you?
I was going
Sorry.
to say, Daryl, with 2 days done, do we have, are you working on the next one? We got the New Mold Monday,
Well,
we got the Terminology Tuesday. Is there going to be Wednesday,
well,
Thursday, Friday?
we've already got one back Wednesday, so I guess you can't take that. You got to pick something for Thursday and Friday now.
I haven't really come up with anything yet, so maybe if some folks have some ideas, they can drop them in the comments or something and help me out a bit. But no, nothing in the works right now. I usually just come up with some different content throughout the week. I mean, the Mondays and Tuesdays that's going strong and to keep those series going. But there is some new exciting stuff coming in the near future with some collaborations with some different companies. So I'll be working with Sheetizer in the next little while and Wolfcat Disc as well too. So definitely be on the lookout for those ones.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
awesome. Are you a Monday to Friday, 5 days, 7 days a week poster, or apart from the Monday and Tuesday, because that's kind of locked in? Is it when you get a chance to post other content?
5 days a week, so I do Monday to Friday. That's kind of a staple. Every now and then you might get a lucky Saturday, Sunday post out of me, but I try and use that time to either film content or I'm competing myself. So I try and put the camera away when I'm competing.
Yeah, yeah, and I did catch some of your recaps of some of the rounds. Me and Jeremy, we like to think that we're average at best in the MA40 division, but you're quite the player. I've seen.
Far by any means, but I'm at least out there and I'm trying.
Yeah, and I think you probably go to the same league. I think you've had some connection with a previous guest that we had on. You've seen Nico Forbes around quite a bit.
Is definitely a local legend to say the least. And
What
I've
a
known Nico and Carl now for a while. We've done putting leagues together and different local league events together as well too. And I've run tournaments with Carl, so there's a big relationship there for sure.
yeah.
Well, I've got the big question, though, then, with all of that local legend Nico there. Have you switched to mango slushies and has it changed your game?
Peterborough has changed to mango slushies now. Actually, I think maybe that might even be like Canada wide. Everybody switched over to mango slushies and completely changed my game.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we probably should give a shout out to the other Easton juniors that we had on as well. Rebecca Dawn, obviously doing great things at Junior Worlds there. We also had Brooklyn O'Krafka on as well. Are they kind of names that you know out east as well?
Those are all the young studs that are out here. Plus, I mean, countless others. Those are. I mean,
Yeah.
Rebecca's had an unbelievable season this year, and I feel like I saw that coming after her last season as well too. Like I knew she was going to come onto the scene this year and just take it by storm. So she was kind of my hot pick at the start of the season was Rebecca Dawn to see like how well she would do, and she's just been unbelievable. So and yeah, Brooke's been around for a couple of tournaments around here as well too.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously not to dwell on them too much, but what a family as well. You've got Rebecca Dawn, you've got Leah Dawn, Jake Voskamp's obviously part of that family as well. Joey.
As well too. There's a whole bunch. Yeah, the Dawn and the Boss camps I think might be the like ultimate disc golf family in the near future here.
Yeah, yeah. for sure. Okay, so should we get into the picks? Should we just give a recap of exactly how this whole fantasy league works, Jeremy?
I think so.
Okay, we bring it up on screen here for the people that are watching. So it is a little bit different tournament with it being only a slim down FPO field. So you're going to pick 3 MPO, 1 FPO. You're going to get 5 points for a win, 3 points for a podium. So on the screen it says 22 points max, but that won't be the max. It'll be 16 points max for 2 podiums, FPO and MPO, 2 wins, MPO, FPO, 2 podiums on the MPO, and that'll
Yeah.
give you 16 points.
And a little tip here, nobody has had a perfect round yet, whether it be us or the guests. So is this the week? Who knows?
Okay. All right.
I mean, if we watch this episode back, could that be foreshadowing, Jeremy?
Could be.
Could be. Who knows? Okay, so as we decided off air, and we decided last episode that whoever came third place in the previous episode
It's a nice way to
choose gets to choose the order of the picks for this week. So unfortunately, Team Flick came third last episode, which means Myles, you get to pick which order you want us to go in the snake draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whenever you have an opportunity to, take the first pick, I think you should take it. So I'm going to take the first pick by all means, and then I think it should go Jeremy and then Daryl.
Yes, I knew we were buddies, Myles. We just met, but we're already good friends.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure what the order of the standings are with the teams, but I think that's a fair way to do the draft.
Well, you know what? Why don't we give a quick recap?
It's almost like Myles has the segues down pat, hey?
There you go. So the total point standings, Team J Powell has 31 points. Team Guest Invite has 39. Oh, and lucky. Team Shambles out in front with 44 points.
That's right.
And if we look at the tournament standings.
Oh, right.
Oh, J Powell has 0 wins. Team Guest Invite has 1 win. And lucky Team Shambles has 3 wins. Obviously, we're on episode 5.
What about fan vote? Come on, show us fan vote.
Okay, fan vote. We should reiterate. We're going to put the teams up on Instagram. Leave a comment on this video once you see our picks. Let us know whose team you think is the strongest. Leave there will be a poll on the Instagram post. Vote for your favorite team. Oh, a little bit different in this, but this only comes down to a tie. But Team Guest Invite has 0 wins. Team Shambles and Team J-Pow tying it with 2 votes each. So
we'll give you a hint here, Myles. To get some votes, one of the things we tend to do is we make sure to send the post to the players on our team, thank them for being on our team, encourage them to vote for our team.
Yeah, that's smart.
Start bringing in family and friends. So, but before we get right into the picks part, this is the Eastern Canadian Amateur Nationals. Yeah. And Myles will correct me because my pronunciations are always wrong, but is it in Bourget, Ontario, or do they call it Bourget?
I mean, I'm sure there's people that pronounce it that way for sure, but I've always heard it as Bourget.
Bourget. Okay. So Bourget, Ontario, and it's the Eddyville Disc Golf Club is where it's being held. Have you ever had a chance to play up there?
Played there, which is sad, but I've heard amazing things about it, and I've heard that this tournament is such a good culture as well too, with folks camping over and turning it into an entire event. I've heard really good things about it.
Good.
Awesome. Is it another tournament to put on our bucket list, Jeremy?
Well, yes, this
if we ever get
list
out to
is
the East
very,
Coast.
very big.
Yeah, we just have to take a couple weeks off if we're going to go out for another rip this time of year next year, or maybe this year. Depends if I can swindle things. Mm-hmm. Could be a thing to include that in the run of events as well.
You'll just have to remember there, Daryl, that Southwestern Ontario is small, but it's also big. So just make sure you're ready for some of those drives.
Yeah.
In general, is just massive. It's one of those things where, if you have friends or family coming to visit that are, especially out of country, they don't realize how big Ontario is and they want to do everything. It's too funny. And when they realize that it takes, a day to drive just west of Ontario to get into the next province. So,
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's
that enough?
put it.
Is that enough faff, Jeremy?
I think it's enough faff. We can we need to know. No, it's not enough faff.
Oh, no, we need to know something very important.
Yeah.
We've got Team Shambles.
We got Team J-Pow.
We need a name for the guest.
Always defer to this team name whenever I do anything disc golf related, and it's been good luck because this team name won the opportunity to go and play USDGC doubles last year. So the team name will be Putt Pirates.
Putt Pirates.
Putt Pirates.
I like it.
Interesting. Okay. There you go. Putt Pirates, Team J-Pal, Team Shambles.
Yeah. So the captain of Team Putt Pirates, Myles Latter, the floor is yours.
I would be amiss if I didn't go FPO to start. That's guaranteed points. Know very well that Alicia Hums is going to absolutely crush it this weekend. She's been on fire this year, and as of late, just unbelievable player. I had a chance to play doubles with her at Outgoat earlier this year. So, yeah, my first pick is going to be Alicia Hums.
It's a good pick.
That's a good
way to start.
Pretty sure that was that your number one pick, Jeremy?
It was on my list for sure.
Oh,
Alicia was definitely on my list.
Fair enough.
So I would like to say Team J-Pow is very excited to be back at one of these pick events. We've really been working hard in the background over these last few weeks, crunching numbers and, shaking hands, kissing babies. I don't know why we've been kissing babies, but we're hoping anything that we can do is going to help us do better here. And now we know that Team Putt Pirates, I believe it was, Daryl, went ahead with Alicia Hums. A great pick, by the way. A great player, Alicia. You're going to do awesome this weekend. Just not awesome enough, I don't think, though, because we do have another player hailing from St. Thomas, Ontario, 914 rated, sister to friend of the show, Marty Hendel. She's played 5 FPO events this year and placed top 10 in all 5 and on the podium in 3 of the events. She won this event last year, and we know this is the year of the Canadian A-tier repeat wins, as Chantel Badinsky, Thomas Gilbert, and Sophia Donica have shown us. Team J-Pow is happy with our first pick to welcome Sandy Hendel to the team.
Interesting.
Great pick. Yep, great pick.
Yeah. You guys... I'm not going to say that Myles didn't throw me for a loop because I kind of figured that was going to be his pick, but you kind of threw me off there. I didn't think you'd be going this way. So, good pick. Now it's over to Team Shambles for a double.
Mm-hmm.
So, another St. Thomas resident. It's been playing for so many years. 10-14 rated. We're going in the MPO division. Team Shambles would like to welcome Martin Hendel to the team.
Yes. Now, I have to say, what we learned today after ratings bumps this week, Marty Hendel is now the highest rated Canadian MPO player.
Exactly.
So, and last year he shot a -44 at this event. So I think you've done well. I'm a little upset that you split my dream duo, but you did a good job.
Hey,
you made a good pick.
don't blame me for going last.
That's true.
Okay, so with second pick, fourth overall. Excuse me. From Niagara Falls, Ontario. This player has 136 career events, 27 career wins. He's been playing since 2016. Currently, 999 rated.
Mm-hmm.
Recent update. Team Shambles would like to welcome friend of the show, Cam Zanini.
Oh my. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of trouble, don't you think? There, Mr. Putt Pirates.
Definitely. I knew that one was coming up shortly because I know he's a friend of the show and unbelievable player. So that's almost too easy of a pick to make, but well done.
There you
Yeah.
go.
All right, we're back to Team J Pow. This is going to be, we have our FPO pick in hand. We need 3 MPO picks. Here's going to be the first one. This player's 988 rated from Beamsville, Ontario. A young gun, just itching for a win. Placed third place at this event last year. And most recently, and if you haven't seen it, you need to go and find it. Go to Foundation Disc Golf's post. Take a look at the 5 aces they've put up and pick ace number 3 and vote for that one, because we're welcoming Kalen Schatt to the team.
Good pick. Good pick.
All these picks that I wanted to make, and
Yeah.
it's not going well here. I'm glad I got the first pick.
Yeah, that's the downside of the snake draft. Hey, you get the first overall, but then you have to wait so long for it to come back to you again.
Yep.
I know. I think actually I might have to pull up. I'm going to do this strategically, anyways. The next pick, but I might have to pull up my laptop or my computer to see who's left in this list. So.
Well,
So I'm split on this one, but I'm gonna go with a friend of mine that I played with recently at Outgoat, who absolutely crushed that Golds layout, and that's going to be an insanely difficult layout.
mm-hmm.
He's somebody who runs tournaments on Toronto Island for the disc golf community. Does a fantastic job. He's running putting events as well too in at different breweries in Toronto. I'm gonna go with my friend Calvin Rorda. I think he's going to crush it this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid pick.
That is for sure. And that gives,
if you've never seen him throw, that the forehands that come out of like this guy are unbelievable.
oh, well, we've heard his name, but that's again, being out west, we've just been learning about these players, and we've definitely got Calvin's name penciled into somewhere in our schedule, hopefully. So, no, but we haven't had a chance to see him play yet.
This way, you're going to end up playing Toronto Island regardless. I know that's on your list, so make sure you grab him when you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, you got another pick ahead of you there.
With you. Yeah.
Well, this one's almost too easy then. Another local legend. This guy has been. He used to live 3 doors down from me when we used to play Ultimate together, and then he kind of got me back into the disc golf scene, kind of edging me to come out more and more. Phenomenal player. He's had some big wins this year. Mike Etchenko.
Okay. Nice. And you guys were neighbors and played Ultimate together? That's cool.
Yeah, he used to live maybe 3 doors down from me, and at the time I think his car had just broken down, so I was driving him to the field all the time. And just an unbelievable guy. He plays in a lot of tournaments in Ontario. He just would have come back from Amateur Worlds as well too. Phenomenal player. I think he'll do well at this course as well too.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the further down the list we get, Jeremy, like we said before, the fact that we're mentioning these players' names, hopefully our listeners will take a bit of interest as well, and they'll be looking at the scoreboards. They'll be looking for these names because they'll be on the team that they voted for. But out of all the the players that we've picked, Cam Zanini, Martin Hendel, Kalen Schatt, names that we've come across before.
Yes.
But Mike Etchenko, that's a name that hasn't come up before. So I'm interested to see how well he plays and where he fits in the order for you.
Well, and I had him on my list. I did say, same things as Myles is saying. 953 rated, Peterborough, Ontario. I said he must play Haute Goat, and he's been getting practice on the gold layout. Those were all things I was thinking about too. So he's got to be dialed and ready to go. But I'm going to go with my second MPO pick here, my third pick of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And this player here is 978 rated from Saint Jean, Quebec. Cam Zanini calls him Juju, says that's his nickname. And that not only is he an awesome disc golf player, but he is always good vibes on your card. Last year, he placed 7th at this event. I'm going to welcome Julian Quenville to Team JPOW.
You really took that when we spoke to Cam, when we asked him for the sleeper picks. You really took that to heart, hey Jeremy?
Yeah, of course. So what do you think about all of that there, Team Shambles? How you feeling right now? How's your list looking?
You know what? Surprisingly intact. You guys
Okay.
didn't go down the same route that I was going to go down, so that's kind of good for me. Okay, back over to me for my third pick. I'm going to go with...
I think you're going FPO this time, aren't you?
No.
No, because you've got 2 MPOs. You
Well,
need
it doesn't
one
really
FPO
matter.
and...
If I go MPO or FPO, it doesn't matter which order I do them in, because I
Well,
get
of
2
course
picks.
you were going to pick FPO first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with FPO first. This player, 843 rated. I like this player because I am also 843 rated currently.
Hey, that's kind of neat.
After a ratings decrease. You know what, Miles? I know Jeremy can know because he's from the Eastern Canada as well. I'm gonna have to get you to give me a hand with this name. Etobicoke?
Kind of. Yeah, you don't really say the K, so it's more like Etobicoke.
Etobicoke.
Okay. Yep. She's from Etobicoke. 843 rated. Give me 1 second. Been playing since 2020. 66 career events, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
31 career wins. I'm going to go with Jane Logan. Welcome to Team Shambles.
Yeah. Well, Daryl, I don't know if you know much about her, Miles, but I'll tell you what I got. I got my write up there that she's just jumped from Am to Pro. She plays both FPO and FP40. And in FP40, with 3 events this year, she's placed a first, a second, and a third. And I think that Alicia and Sandy are going to be a little surprised because they might not be as familiar with her. And I think she's going to show them a thing or two.
I think you're right. Jane's an unbelievable player. I've seen her at a few of the courses out this year, and she's just so strong. Like it's unfortunate that the FBO field is as small as it is for this event, because I feel like it doesn't showcase how incredible the talent pool is in the FBO division in Canada. But Jane is phenomenal. I think you're right. Alicia and Sandy definitely have their hands full there.
Yeah. We welcome you to Team Shambles. So for my final pick, it's not as bad as it sounds.
Yeah.
For my final pick, I'm going to go with a player 982 rated from Sudbury, Ontario. Down 3 points on the last ratings update. 42 career events, 7 career wins. He's been a player since 2021. He's had a few recent wins. In his last 6 events, never finished outside the top 10. I'm going to go with Thomas Hums.
Yeah, great pick. Another power couple in Ontario.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that concludes Team Shambles' team. Over to you, J. Powell, for your final pick.
All right. So for my final pick, I'm going with a 958 rated player. Again, with the pronunciations from Longueuil, Quebec. If I've done that one right, Miles will probably correct me here. Was it all right?
Yep, sounds good. Yep.
All right. He just won his last tournament. This will be his first time playing the Eastern Canadians, and he just started competing competitively last year. So again, another one of those players who's going to come in. People may not be as familiar with him, and he's going to rock it. I've got Louis-Philippe Levac joining Team JPOW.
got picked on this because I'm not as familiar with them. So I'm glad that you did some research on them and gave them space here. When I was looking at the different players to choose from to for the show, doing my research, my scouting, they seemed like some pretty phenomenal players. So that's a good
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I think it's me then in the last pick. And again, this isn't anything to do with the skill or the person. I have to go with it. This is a player that I met um, early on when I started playing disc golf and competing. Absolutely incredible person to have on your card. Very nice, very sincere. He's a young gun. He can absolutely bomb. He was just in. He was just down south in the amateur worlds. I'm gonna go with Jacob Mainville.
Ah, yeah. And we've seen that name around before. I don't know if I've seen him in some social media posts or just that he has been placing pretty well in some tournaments, but that name is not unfamiliar to me.
Young gun that has huge potential, and he's been playing really really well this year. So
Nice. Well, there we
There you
go.
go.
We've got 3 teams, Daryl. What do we do now?
We do. We should do a recap of our team. So, Miles, seeing as you're the guest of the show and you had the first pick, why don't you give us a full rundown of your pick, your team? Sorry.
Pirates has a stacked lineup for this event. First pick was Alicia Hums. Second pick was Calvin Rorida. Third pick was Micah Shenko, and fourth pick was Jacob Manville.
Nice.
Yeah. It
Well,
looks strong on paper, Miles, but I don't think you're going to take down the win this weekend, I'm afraid.
oh,
Wow, confident.
Team Shambles. I really did think that at the start of this Final Fantasy, these fantasy picks, Miles, that Team Shambles was going to be a mess. I felt I had everything in order from the first tournament, and then he wins one, and then second tournament, and I'm realizing that you know what, I'm not going to be as bravado. I'm gonna. But with that, I am very comfortable and confident that I've got an amazing team. Team J-Pow is ready to knock it out of the park this weekend. And we all started this with Sandy Hendel as my FPO player. And then we've got Kalen Schatt, which I didn't even mention his amazing performance at Nationals last year. I'm telling you, this is going to be a great person on the team. Then we got Julian Juju Quenville. He's on there. And then Louis-Philippe Levac. And that just gives me a chance to use my French accent, which I think is pretty darn good. So welcome, bonjour to Team J-Pow.
Well, I mean, they're all good teams, but I just don't think they've got that cutting edge to take down the win this weekend, which, it doesn't matter if I start first, second, third. I think I've got a pretty stacked team here. I'm so full of it, aren't I? So, Team Shambles would like to welcome. My first overall pick was Martin Hendel. My first pick was Martin Hendel, Cam Zanini, Jane Logan, and Thomas Hums. And like we said, it doesn't. We're not mentioned like you mentioned there as well, Miles. The order which they get picked, the team. We're not saying that on any given day any one of these players could be taking down the win. So it's it definitely if you're following along with our fantasy league, get on Disc Golf Scene, get on PDGA Live, start watching the scores, and start hoping that Team Shambles is going to take down the win again.
Yeah,
I think that's been the most fun this year is checking the PDGA Live. And I mean, if you're not playing in the events and you're still trying to be involved, and this year I took a step back from competing a lot. And so having friends, or like you said, in this instance, looking at different picks, it's so much fun to follow along live, cheering on these folks that maybe you've never even met before. You don't even know really, you've never said a word to them, but cheering them on regardless. It's a ton of fun.
Yes. Well, the one thing we want to make sure everybody knows as well is we're going to put out a few posts there. And what we want you to do is there's going to be a vote button to vote for your favorite team. And as long as you put a vote, if you don't have that vote button, sometimes that happens, just put a comment in of the team that you're voting for. Do that on YouTube, do that on Instagram. And if you want to play along with us as well, go ahead and put a team together of 1 FPO and 3 MPOs of your choice. And one person we didn't pick, but I do want to mention that was on my list as well, was Charles Blanchette out of Boisbriand, Quebec, and another player that maybe you want to put on your team. So make sure you do that and be part of the fun. You could win a gift card out of it.
You just wanted to mention his name, didn't you? You just wanted to mention where he was from.
Sense,
Yes. I just wanted to use my French accent one more time.
Yeah, we should also mention that the Fantasy League is sponsored by BR Disc Golf. Over 10 points. If any one of us gets over 10 points, $10 gift card is up for grabs. Over 15 points, a $15 gift card. We're not likely to get over 20 points because the maximum
was
we'll
only
be able to get is 16. But yeah.
And you said no one's got a perfect score, right?
Not yet.
No,
Okay.
we haven't come close. I think maybe one of us got 16 or somewhere around there on a full term pick.
3 and 3, yeah.
Yeah, on a 3 and 3. But yeah, this could be the first week, Myles. You could be the lucky. You could be doing something for the guests because I'm not gonna lie, they've been kind of sucking.
Ouch.
What I shouldn't do when you're trying to pick teams or betting and it's bringing in emotions, and I picked like basically my best friends that are on the list. So either way, I'm cheering them on, and I think they can do well. But when there's folks out there like Martin Hendel or Kalen Shad, I mean, you can't go wrong. So
yeah, I guess that's the hard thing is that when they are your friends and you're picking them for a fantasy league, it's almost like I don't want to leave you off because you're my friend. I got to pick you for that, but also I kind of think Marty might take down the win or Kalen might take down the win, sort of thing. So you got to balance it up, but
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when, like you said, Martin being the highest rated person in the MPO field in Canada right now. I mean, it's hard not to choose that person, but I'm fully confident that my picks are going to shoot well above their average. So it'll be a fun competition.
Yeah.
One thing to notice with Martin though is that he hasn't played a lot of tournaments this year.
That's true.
I mean, obviously he's probably getting out and he's playing, but he's not competing a lot at that level. So, maybe that might be something, if there is any sort of knock about picking Martin, even though he is the highest rated and we know what he can do. And like you said, he shot minus 44 last time out. He's got that. We know what he can do. Is that maybe, no, he's going to win.
There's an injury or something there, and that might slow him down. I'm not too sure. Yeah. So maybe that's a risky pick.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. Myles, did you just say picking the highest rated player in Canada is a risky pick? I just want to get that on tape there.
Sure. Yeah. You can quote me on that one for sure.
I mean, if you look back at last year's schedule, like he played in a lot more tournaments than he did this year. So,
well, Marty, I know you got it, buddy. I don't know why you haven't played lately, but I'm not worried about it. Kalen's going to take you out because he's on my team, but you're going to be right there in, I guess, third, fourth place there. So,
yeah. All right. Well, that concludes this episode. Myles, we want to thank you for joining. Where can everybody reach you if they want to follow you?
Yeah, at Myles of Disc is where I'm at, whether that's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, anywhere you can kind of digest social media, Myles of Disc.
Awesome. One thing I just wanted to touch on before we go, and kind of give you some sort of praise, for to mention what you have done. You have your Instagram, as we said, the New Mole Mondays, the Terminology Tuesdays with Innova Discs and Plastic, but you're also an ambassador for Innova as well. And then recently, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been an ambassador with them since the start of this year. Yep.
And then recently you just announced as well that you're an Innova educator as well.
That's pretty much brand new. It's the education program they've kind of just released, and I'll be going to different events, different schools, and even some non-for-profit organizations such as the Boys and Girls Club, and I'll be running either clinics or doing some professional development for phys ed for phys ed teachers. Just trying to get discs into kids' hands, kind of anywhere I can. And spreading the love of the sport that I obviously thoroughly enjoy, borderline obsessed with. So,
yeah, that's awesome. maybe it's been a little bit of time since you were in schools. What is it? We spoke to the juniors, obviously. What's the junior scene like in Eastern Canada?
Well, we're spoiled because we have Carl and Nico kind of running the charge with junior disc golf. Honestly, I don't know where the sport would be without folks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nico's drive is, as you know, because he's been on the show. It's a juniors, tour essentially throughout all the hot spots in Ontario. And I don't know how far east that goes. I'm unaware of kind of what's happening east of Ontario with regards to juniors, anyways. But I know within Ontario, Nico's doing a great job of getting kids out and competing. I know he's done clinics at certain kids camps and youth camps as well too. So they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see it too, right? Like folks like Rebecca Dawn and Nico, world champion. Like that sounds insane to say still. I'm sure it sounds even weirder for him to say it, but the more folks that get out and the more opportunities that they have, then we're going to start seeing more of it. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and one more shout out to your content with that as well, Myles, is because since Daryl has been watching you, I constantly get a post every Monday and every Tuesday, either telling me about a new Innova disc or something going on. And if Daryl was to pull back his Thomas Gilbert goat towel there and show you what he has in his bag, you'd think he was sponsored by Innova now, because I think 95% of his bag is Innova.
Yeah,
I mean, they do make good discs, so it's pretty easy to sell. But at the same time, too, like it's funny with the Terminology Tuesdays. Even today, I was playing a league round, and someone was talking to me about parting line height and how this is a person that's been playing since '95. They'd never heard that term before, and the fact that I get to share that type of information with folks is incredible. Like I'm glad that there's value I'm glad that there's value in the content that I'm putting out there, because that was the whole intent, was to educate folks, teach people something new, something funny, just get quality content out there that is enjoyable.
Yeah, you certainly do that. Yeah, although he was a little bit annoyed that I got my Sophia disc before him.
Yes. Yeah, actually.
It's been rectified now, though. You have your
I do have mine, and I haven't taken it out yet. And that's only because I have 2 J's that are already in my bag that fly so good that I have no reason to try it out. But I am excited to get out and check it out. There was a bunch of tour series that I got, and the Sophia Donica J is I think it's probably the best mid-range that's been released in the last little while. So
yeah,
nice. Well, Daryl has been talking about, because we did have Daryl Banks on the show. We talked a lot about the Innova Rip coming up.
Right.
Daryl's been seeing if he can swing it to get out there. I'll be out at Nationals out in Clearwater, so we might have chain out west and east that weekend. I have family in London, Ontario. I may be heading out there this fall, and if I am, I've got a lot of people to look up, and I'll probably put you on my list as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can make a weekend trip up this way, there's 3 of the top 5 courses in Ontario around, right? We've got Project 15, we've got Oat Goat, of course, and then we've got Newcastle was on there as well too. And don't sleep on Cedar Creek. That's a newer course that is unbelievable. So there's tons of amazing courses that are all within 40-45 minutes of Peterborough.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, well, we appreciate your time. We will touch back again, and stay tuned next Wednesday when we go live on YouTube. We will give the update episode. We'll let you know how everybody did.
Yeah. And as always with that Wednesday episode, we reached out to John Pytel, who is the tournament director of Eastern Canadian Amateur. And he is looking to come on the show. And then we're hoping to reach out to the MPO and FPO winners. So it'll be an awesome recap show if we can get everybody on.
Alicia and Calvin that they should expect a call here, or what?
Yeah,
Something like
maybe if Sandy and Kaylin aren't able to come on.
Oh, okay, perfect.
And we don't want to have Martin on twice. We've already had him on before, right?
Yeah,
So.
there you go. All right, well, thanks
All right.
everybody.
One thing I'd like to say, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but we normally end our episodes with there's only one thing left to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's only one thing left to do. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this.
What would it be? What's the one thing that everybody should do?
Obviously, get out and throw.
Awesome.